So, good morning students. In the last class, in the previous class, nothing but we discussed about the clamper. So, that is the positive clamper or negative peak clamper. We discussed the concept of what is meant by positive clamper and how it can be works and what is the purpose of the positive clamper. At the same time, we discussed about the positive clamper with zero reference and positive reference. So in this class we discuss about the positive clamper or negative peak clamper with negative reference voltage. So first of all, just to see the circuit diagram of the negative clamper. So it consisting of so the negative clamper consisting of negative peak clamper consisting of the capacitor. The capacitor negative terminal is connected to the input, that is Vi. So the charge across this capacitor is indicated with Vc, and the anode of the diode will be connected to the reference voltage, that is minus Vr, and cathode of the input is connected to the another terminal of the capacitor. Here the input, that is we apply a negative reference signal, that is minus Vr signal. Here we apply a negative reference signal to the anode of the diode, and cathode of the diode is connected to the capacitor, another terminal, that is a positive terminal. So as we know that is the input signal. So this is an input signal which is having peak to peak voltage of 2 Vm, and nothing but in the positive direction it is represented with the Vm, and the negative direction it can be represented with the minus Vm. So when this signal is passing through this circuit, what happens we have to discuss here. So while this circuit is passing through this circuit, and which condition diode is on and which condition diode is off. So simply we have to say that is a negative reference signal is applied to the anode of the diode. And what is the condition of diode on? Simply we have to say that the anode voltage must be greater than the cathode voltage. So that is the basic principle of diode on. So based upon that we have to change the output wave, nothing but output condition. So simply we can say that is it is a minus Vr level. So that is a reference signal minus Vr. So when input signal, that is case 1, that is Vi is less than minus Vr. So the input signal is less than minus Vr, nothing but this direction signal. So this signal is passing through this circuit. What happens? The diode is in on condition, nothing but here the cathode voltage is less than the anode voltage. So that's why diode is in on condition. The circuit will be like this. So just diode is replaced with the short switch, and so as we apply reference voltage, that is minus Vr, and this is minus N plus, that is Vc, and V input, and so this one is V naught. So this circuit, nothing but this input signal is passing through this. Then what happens? The capacitor starts charging. So what is the charging voltage here is simply we have to say that the maximum input voltage, that is Vm. But the capacitor is connected in between this input and minus reference. That's why it charges up to the capacitor maximum limit. So the maximum limit is indicated with the Vc. So in this condition, capacitor starts charging, and the charging is done up to Vc level. That is in the negative direction. That's why minus Vc. Why? Because we connect a negative terminal to the V input. And next one is when the V input is greater than minus Vr. Obviously diode is in off condition, which is replaced by the open switch. So in this condition only we have to take the steady state value. And what is the steady state value? Simply we have to say that when the diode is in off condition, we have to take the output, or we have to give the output. In this time we treat it as a steady state value. Simply the steady state value for this circuit becomes, that is when Vi greater than minus Vr. In this time we get the steady state value. The steady state value is V input signal, that is V input signal is passing through this capacitor as well as V naught. So and the V input becomes the capacitor is connected to the negative terminal, nothing but the input is connected to the capacitive negative terminal, and output is taken across in positive and negative direction. So that's why what happens, that is Vi is equal to minus Vc and plus V naught. So we know the value, we have to know the value of V naught from this circuit, that is V naught becomes Vi plus Vc. So this is taken as equation number 1. So as we know the V input value, but we don't know the value of Vc. So we have to find the value of VC. So for finding of VC, we go for the procedure like by applying KVL to the input side, and then we have to find the VC condition. So from this we get the steady state value, that is V0 is equal to Vi plus Vc. So in this we have to find the value of Vc. So that is V0 is equal to Vi plus Vc. So it is taken as equation number 1. And next one, by applying KVL at the input side. So that is we have to apply KVL at the input side, that is positive and negative, and this one is negative and positive. So apply KVL at the input side, then what happens? It becomes, so that is minus Vi plus, nothing but not plus, and this one is a negative direction, starts with the negative polarity, that's why it is minus Vc. So that is minus Vi minus Vc. At the same time, so here we take it as diode is an ideal diode, that's why we don't take the V gamma. In case we have to take the V gamma, but it is just replaced with the 0. So and the negative reference signal, that is minus Vr. So that is minus Vr, which is equal to 0. And in place of Vi, we have to substitute the value of minus Vm. Why? Because the maximum signal, that is minus Vm. Why? Because this is the input signal Vm and this one is the minus Vm. The maximum signal V input becomes minus Vm. In this direction only the diode is in off condition. So that's why we have to take, that is Vi is equal to minus Vm. So then what is the well form here? That is what is an equation here? That is Vm minus Vc and minus Vr becomes 0. Then we have to know the value of Vc, that is Vc becomes Vm minus Vr. So this is taken as equation number 2. So just substitute these equation in equation number 1, that is in place of Vc we have to substitute these value. So that is V0 becomes, so what is the V0? Vi. In place of Vc we have to substitute these value, that is Vm minus Vr. So this is the total equation for finding of V0. So V0 nothing but Vi plus Vm minus Vr. So in this condition we have to apply the V input in different condition, nothing but different conditions. We have to know the output waveform. So just have to check the condition. That is we know that Vi is equal to, V0 is equal to Vi plus Vm minus Vr. So first I have to draw the input waveform. Based upon that we have to get the output waveform. So this is an input waveform. That is so here time and this one is Vi. So the maximum input voltage is Vm and this one is 0 and this one is minus Vm. And at this condition this is the Vm and this point will be 0 and this point will be, so based upon that we have to find the output waveform. So listen carefully. So that is the first condition, the input is starts at 0 level. So that is at Vi is equal to 0, what is an output waveform? That is at Vi is equal to 0, what is the V0? That is V0 is equal to Vm Vm minus Vr. At Vi is equal to 0, that is V0 is equal to Vm minus Vr. And the next one is Vm is equal to, that is V input is equal to at Vm level, that is the maximum input level Vm. So that is Vi is equal to Vm, then what happens? V0 is equal to Vm plus Vm, that is 2Vm plus Vr. 2Vm minus Vr. 2Vm minus Vr. And the next one at the final condition, that is again the input signal goes to 0 and again it goes to, so we know the value of 0. So that's why we go for the minus Vm condition. That is Vi is equal to minus Vm. What happens? That is Vi is equal to minus Vm, then V0 is equal to minus Vm and minus Vm and minus Vr. So that is, sorry, minus Vm plus Vm and minus Vr. So obviously Vm cancel, that is V0 is equal to minus Vr. So just we have to take these values in the input in the waveforms. So what is the output we have to observe. So obviously we have to indicate that is Vm minus Vr. So Vm just we have to take it as Vm is equal to 5 volts and Vr is equal to 2 volts. That is what is meant by 5 minus 2, that is 3. In between this 0 and Vm, it is in between this. So that's why first I have to indicate this one, that is Vm minus Vr. And the next one is 2Vm minus Vr. So nothing but it is above the Vm signal only, then we have to indicate this one, that is 2Vm minus Vr. And the final one, that is V0 is equal to minus Vr condition. So obviously it is in the negative direction, this one, that is minus Vr. So from this we have to take the output waveforms. How we have to take the output waveforms, we have to observe. So the first condition is at Vi is equal to 0. What happens at Vi is equal to 0? The output will be Vm minus Vr, that is it starts here. So in this condition the output is Vm minus Vr. And the next condition, that is at Vi is equal to Vm, the output will be 2Vm minus Vr. So here. And the next one is at again 0 condition, obviously it is here. And the next condition Vi is equal to minus Vr, then V0 is equal to minus Vr. So here, and again it goes to 0, that's why it is here. Simply the output waveform is like this, that is the output and the green dot is the input. So simply it can shift the signal above the DC line, but here we use a negative reference, that's why some part of the signal will be shifted to the negative reference also. So this is about the clampers. Up to this we discussed about what is meant by clamper and what are the types of the clampers, simply what is meant by positive peak clamper and what is meant by negative peak clamper, and with reference and without reference we have to discuss. Simply clamper means which shift the signal above the DC line or below the DC line, and by using positive clamper we can shift the signal to the above DC line. By using negative clamper we can shift the signal to the below the DC line. So based upon the references it shift the signals. At the same time positive clamper is known as negative peak clamper and the negative clamper is known as positive peak clamper. So that is about the clampers. And the next one is a very important question, that is clamping circuit theorem. So what is meant by clamping circuit theorem and what is the proof for that? So very important question. This is the 8 marks question. So please concentrate on this. So what is the statement of the clamping circuit theorem for any input waveform? So up to this we discussed about the sinusoidal signals for the clamping circuit. For any input waveform, so the area under forward direction. So nothing but when any input waveform is passing through the clamping circuit. So obviously sometimes diode is in off condition, sometimes diode is on on condition. So we know that the area under forward direction to the area under reverse direction is equal to the RF by R. What is meant by RF and what is meant by R? So RF nothing but forward resistance, nothing but diode is in on condition. So we have to take the resistance, that is RF. So simply we have to say that the forward resistance will be very less in terms of ohms to 100 ohms. And when the diode becomes off condition, so the resistance will be reverse resistance, which is indicated by RR. Simply we have to say that the statement of the clamping circuit theorem, for any input waveform, the area under forward direction to the area under reverse direction is equal to the RF by R. Simply we have to say like this, that is so AF by AR is equal to nothing but area under forward direction to the area under reverse direction is equal to the RF by R. So that is the thing about the clamping circuit theorem. What is the proof for that we have to discuss in this class. So this is the circuit diagram of the clamping circuit. Simply we have to add a resistor across the diode. That is the only difference between this previous one and this one. And what is the circuit and what is an output waveform and what we have to prove, that we have to discuss. simply have to take a square wave signal. So for any input waveform, so that's why you have to take the square wave signal. If you want the sinusoidal signal, you have to take the sinusoidal signal also. So when a square wave signal is passing through the circuit, then what happens? We have to discuss. So that is, a square wave signal is passing through the circuit, a positive direction signal. First we have to pass the signal. So when a positive direction signal is passing through this, obviously it connected to the anode of the diode and cathode of the diode is connected to the ground. So here also we have to take the ideal diode only. So then when positive signal is passing through the circuit, obviously diode is in on condition. So when the diode becomes on, it can be replaced with the short switch. Simply the circuit will be like this. So when the input signal and it will be connected to the ground, nothing but the capacitor, one terminal is connected to the input and another terminal will be connected to the ground. So what happens? The capacitor starts charging. So what is the direction of the capacitor charging? So the capacitor starts charging in terms of exponentially increased way. So that is, in this time the capacitor starts charging exponentially. But we have to take the output across the resistor, nothing but diode is short circuited. We have to take the output across the resistor. So then the output across this resistor will be, so generally capacitor starts charging, the voltage across this capacitor increases. So obviously the voltage across this resistor will be decreases. And when the diode becomes on condition, in this time the resistance present across this diode will be R. Simply, here also the resistance will be presented. These resistance will be known as forward resistance, and the output waveform will be like this for this direction. That is, obviously the voltage across capacitor increases, the voltage across resistor will be decreases up to this constant level, up to this level. So at the same time, when this will be decreases, that is, sudden change, so the output will be this one. And next, a negative signal is passing through this circuit. So in this time the diode is in off condition. When the diode becomes off condition, so then capacitor starts discharging in this direction. When capacitor starts discharging in this direction, obviously the voltage across this resistor will be increases. So then it increases like this. So the waveform will be like this. So this is the waveform. So please concentrate on this waveform. We have to observe what is the forward current, forward area and what is the reverse area. We have to take it as. So that is, so this one is the reverse area. Why? Because in this time only the diode is in reverse bias. So this one is taken as, from this I have to take, that is T1 and T2. So this one is T3 and this direction is known as a forward. So this one is AF. That is output waveform, that is here this is known as AR, that is the reverse area. So up to this time the diode is in reverse bias. So up to this time the diode is in forward bias, that is V0. This is an output wave. So from this we have to prove that is the forward, the ratio between the forward direction and reverse direction is equal to the RF by R. So what is the proof for that? We have to observe. So as we know that is a condition, that is a T1 less than T less than T2. So up to this condition we have to observe. So that is the first condition, T1 less than T less than T2. What is an output waveform? We have to observe. So in this direction, what is an output? Simply we have to say that capacitor starts discharging. So in this time the capacitor starts discharging and the current passing through the circuit. Obviously the capacitor starts discharging, at the same time diode is in reverse bias. Why? Because so we apply a negative signal, that's why diode is in reverse bias condition. So when diode becomes reverse bias, the current passing through this is known as reverse current. So that is, the reverse current is indicated with the reverse current passing through the circuit, that is IR, sorry, in this direction, reverse direction. So that is IR. So when that is T1 less than T less than T2. So obviously we know that from the output waveform we know that the capacitor starts discharging. So in this time the capacitor starts discharging. So when the capacitor starts discharging, so in this time the current flowing through the circuit is known as IR. So the current flowing through the circuit is known as IR. At the same time the current is noted with IR. So the capacitor starts discharging, it lost the charge. Nothing but the charge lost by capacitor, which is indicated with the Q. Nothing but the Q is equal to integral T1 to T2 IR into dt. So that is a condition. So simply we have to say that the charge lost by capacitor, which is indicated with the Q is equal to T1 integral T1 to T2 and IR into dt. So that is what is the IR? What we know that I is equal to V by R. So just substitute the value, that is IR is equal to V by R, that is V naught by R. Simply we have to take it as R only. So that is Q is equal to, so that is integral T1 to T2. In place of IR, we have to substitute the value, that is V naught by R into dt. So just take the value 1 by R in the outside, then it becomes, that is Q is equal to 1 by R integral T1 T2 V naught into dt. So when the capacitor starts discharging, so the charge across this capacitor or the charge lost by capacitor is Q is equal to 1 by C integral T1 to T2 into V naught into dt. So that is a condition. And the next condition, so up to we have to find, that is a T1 to T2 condition only. So then we go for the next one, that is at second condition, T2 greater than T greater than T3. So that is in between T2 and T3, what is an output waveform and what is a condition. So in this time, that is a positive signal is passing through this. In this time what happens? The capacitor starts charges and current following through this is known as forward current. So in this time the capacitor starts charging, at the same time the current flowing through this is known as IF current. Why? Because so the capacitor starts charging and current flowing through this is known as forward current IF. And in this time the diode is in on condition. When the diode becomes on condition, the resistance, there is a chance of resistance. So that is this resistance is known as forward resistance, that is RF. So in place of diode, we have to replace with the RF with a V gamma. So just we have to take the RF, and based upon that, in this time, what is the condition? T2 less than T less than T3 condition. C starts charging. Nothing but capacitor starts charging. When capacitor starts charging, so in this time the current flowing through this circuit is known as forward current. So the current flowing through this circuit is known as IF. And in this time the capacitor gains some nothing but some energy, or the stored energy by capacitor, which is indicated with the Q, or the charge stored by the capacitor, that is charge stored by the capacitor. So in the previous that is up to T1 T2 condition, the charge is lost by the capacitor. Why? Because capacitor diode is in off condition. In this time capacitor goes discharging. In this previous we discussed about the charge lost by capacitor. Here we discuss what is the charge stored by the capacitor. In this time the diode is in on condition and the resistance is RF. Simply it can be represented with the Q is equal to integral T2 to T3. And what is the current flowing through this circuit? The current flowing through this circuit is known as IF into dt, that is forward current flowing through this circuit. So from this we have to say that what is the IF? I is equal to V by R, and that is what is the IF? Nothing but V naught by RF. Why? Because there is a resistance when the current that is forward current is passing through this circuit, that is IF is equal to V naught by RF. So from this we have to say that that is Q is equal to integral T2 to T3 V naught by RF into dt. So again we have to take the RF as a common in the nothing but we have to take the RF, then the equation becomes that is Q is equal to 1 by RF integral T2 to T3 V naught into dt. So this is the charge lost by capacitor and this is the charge gained by capacitor. So this is the output waveforms, nothing but output conditions. So how we have to relate this? We have to simply say that under steady state condition, nothing but under steady state condition, the charge gained by the capacitor, so the charge is gained by the capacitor is equal to the charge lost by capacitor. Simply we have to say that under steady state condition, under normal condition, the charge gained by capacitor is equal to the charge lost by capacitor. Simply we have to say like this. So under steady state condition, so charge gained by capacitor equal to charge lost by capacitor. Simply we have to say that what is the charge gained by capacitor? So that is 1 by Rf integral T2 to T3 V0 into dt. And the charge gained by the capacitor, charge lost by capacitor, that is 1 by R integral T1 to T2 V0 into dt. So just this is known as area, that is integral T2 to T3 V0 into dt is known as area. So this area is known as, that is the forward condition area, nothing but the forward area, that is AF. So in this area is known as forward area when capacitor becomes on condition, nothing but when capacitor becomes on condition. So in this time capacitor starts charging. So what is the area here? That is indicated with the AF. And when capacitor starts discharging, so in this time the area is known as reverse area, that is diode in the reverse bias, that is indicated with the area. So that is this is known as AF and this one is known as AR. So this is known as forward area and this is the known as reverse area. So simply we have to, that is the integral T2 to T3 V0 into dt is known as forward area and integral T1 to T2 V0 into dt is known as reverse area. From this we have to say that in place of that we have to substitute the value, that is 1 by Rf into AF, but that is 1 by R into AR. So from this we have to say that that is AF by AR is equal to Rf by R. So this is the proof for the clamping circuit theorem. So simply we have to say that the clamping circuit theorem tells about that for any input waveform, the area under forward bias, nothing but the area under forward direction to the area under reverse direction is equal to the Rf by Rr, nothing but R also. So here Rf nothing but forward resistance and R nothing but reverse resistance. So this is the proof for the clamping circuit theorem. So in the next class we discuss about the what is the response of the or what is the effect of the clamping circuit for a square wave input as well as what is the practical clamping circuit. So thank you.